It's Taurian, the one that you either love loving or hate loving, but still love. Super T Sigma of Sigma programming. There's a game in the Star Wars franchise called Shadows of the Empire. It came out for the Super Nintendo, or actually came out for the Nintendo 64, I believe. And that's kind of the simulation that we're living in right now, the Shadows of an Empire. And understanding the Empire, you know, just like the commercials with the playables, the ready playables, empires are forged. Had a lot of advertisements on forging of empires, the forging of an empire, because that's Aquarian energy that deals with the building of alliances, making alliances. So you have that an empire is forged with relationships, with allies, with what I call harvest, because this is still part of the harvesting, right? This is still intermingled with harvest. Different bundles are being gathered up together, and these things, these different factions or groups, they represent different bubbles, but they represent shadows in the empire. Shadows not always a bad thing, because in a deserted place, hot place in your life where you can't get any relief, everything is in the hot seat. Every scenario you're putting out a fire. You're gonna need some shade. You're gonna need some shade, because what is darkness? Darkness becomes relief when you're suffering from heat exhaustion, hydration, right? Liquid and darkness. You have to go right back to Genesis 1:1. No light and just water. Shadows of the empire. In the empire, over an empire, a big light has to be shown. And that big light has to be shown in the energy of the divine feminine. Take the Statue of Liberty itself, for example, and you'll immediately see that over an empire state, or over an empire state of mind, what you're gonna come up with is a declaration and a posture of liberty, just by shining the light. Because this is what it is. Statue of Liberty. She's holding a book. She's got broken chains. She's been weathered by the elements. She's been transformed by the environment. But regardless of what she looks like from age to age, her torch still remains lit and stretched over the empire state of mind. Illumination is what gets held over an empire. You also, this is why kings sometimes go through madness, and you have different darknesses that overtook kings, because a king's ranking is not as high as an empire or emperor. You have to rule multiple kingdoms as an emperor, entire provinces. A king only really has one kingdom. His range of diplomacy will not be so vast as the emperors would. So the shadows are going to be different that get cast over this empire. But regardless, in order to know what shadows are cast over an empire, and in order for any shadows to be cast at all over the empire, the torch must be held up, not by the divine masculine, but by the divine feminine. So while you show the way, you're also in the receptive energy. So in the movie called The Witch, spelled with two V's, two V's put together, the lead character played by Anya Taylor-Joy, who was also in, quite a few movies. She's in the new one now, the Mad Max franchise as it spins off into Furiosa. So she's either a Furiosa legacy or maybe a prequel Furiosa when she was young. This same character, she's in a movie where she gets initiated as a witch, and they ask her something, a series of questions for her initiation. And this is fresh out of the playbook of real diehard left-hand path darkness, witches really floating on brooms, elevating to the moon, dancing around fires, naked methodology. They asked her, would she like to live deliciously? Would she like to live deliciously? And of course, on the surface level, this is an appeal to sensuality, carnality, and this opens the gateway to demons and other darker energies, more primordial energies, more unrestrained and untamed energies, due to opening up energetic gateways. Yeah, that in a nutshell, but it goes even deeper than that when you see that this is still two sides of one coin, where they still giving you the tails. There's a heads to this, because you don't want to live life bland. This is also dangerous. What if you're living life without flavor, without a spark for life, without motivation, without determination, without drive, without even the will to live, is what life becomes when it has no flavor and where there's nothing about life that's delicious. On the other hand, living deliciously puts any and everyone, any and everything on the menu. Both extremes, equally dangerous, just expressed in different modalities. But to live deliciously, really inside of balance and in perspective, to live deliciously is to open up the floodgates for gratitude. Life just tastes better when you're thankful for more things, when you're grateful and more appreciative of things. Life tends to get sweeter. And yes, it's easier said than done, because it's a reflex to complain. It's a reflex to always see the downside or the negative side. That's a reflex. It doesn't really require any extra thought to complain. But on the other hand, where the battle is won and where the battle is fought and where the battle consists of is, can you stay in the positive part of the dream? Can you compound on your good thoughts? Can you hold on to one good thought, even if it's just a simple humorous thought? Can you jump on that vibrational elevator? Can you go up Jacob's ladder and transmute it into an escalator, an open escalator where you can see the entire mall as you go up, through the dimensions, through the heights, through the lessons, through the changes, through the chakras, through the energies, through the worlds, through the candlesticks, through the angels, through the seven eyes of the Lamb. Your elevation is achieved one thought at a time. You gather enough thoughts, then you get feelings. You gather enough feelings, it materializes into more facts. Super T Sigma, Sigma programming. Stay illuminated, people. Peace.